Hello, Acorns, all sorts and smarties. It's great to see you. Well, today is Holy Saturday and we're here at our home and I'm going to make an Easter garden. Nibbles has come to supervise and so has Mr. Tiger and Lulu the elephant and also Hoggles, our very big teddy bear. And they're all going to help and remind me what to do if I forget. So, are you all excited for Easter? Oh, Nibbles is very excited. Oh, he says he's going to do a hunt in the morning for chocolate eggs. That will be wonderful, won't it? Are you all going to do the same, boys and girls? I think we'll do that same in our house as well with my big girl Evie and her big brother Theo. I think we'll be hunting for eggs in the garden too. And you know why we hunt for eggs on Easter Sunday? Well, oh yes, Nibbles is right. We use eggs at Easter because eggs are full of new life. And so is Easter. Jesus was alive again on Easter Day and is still alive now, and that is the most wonderful news of Easter. And we're going to tell you all about that as we make our Easter garden. Oh, Nibbles, it's been sad this year because, well, we're all having to stay at our homes, aren't we? Because the government has told us not to come out and see lots of people because that way we're all staying safe and protecting our NHS and saving lives. So that's why we're all in our homes. But normally we'd have all got together to make an Easter garden together, wouldn't we? And we would have had lots of nice treats to eat, and we would have played some games, and then we would have made a lovely Easter garden to go in the church for everyone to see when they came on Easter Day. Well, I thought you might just like to make an Easter garden of your own so that tomorrow or today, if you're watching this on Easter Sunday, you can think about the Easter story as you look at it, and hopefully that will make it extra special, won't it, Nibbles? Yes, Nibbles says it will. Now, Nibbles is probably going to have to sit on top of Mr. Tiger for a minute because there he goes. There's Nibbles. You can keep watch there because otherwise he's going to get really dirty, isn't he? So, for your Easter garden, you need... Well, I've got a pasta dish, actually, a really big pasta dish, but you can use a washing up bowl or a foil dish or a plant pot or anything you like. But I've used this pasta bowl because it's a bit old and cracked and it's just the right shape because it's nice and wide. So pasta bowl or whatever bowl, and you'll need some soil or some compost. You'll need a plant pot. You might need some stones or some gravel. You can find all of these things in your garden, I'm sure. And then I have got some moss, which I've pulled off the top of some stones in our garden, and that's very special because that's going to help us make our green hill. And I've got a great big stone to go in front of the tomb. And we couldn't get any flowers in the shops this year because all the flower shops are closed, but I've been and picked some weeds in our garden and I think they'll do just as well. So, shall we get going? Right, children, boys and girls, let's put some soil in our bowl. There we go. You can get all nice and messy. All nice and messy. And get your hands right stuck in there. You can feel all the lovely moist compost and feel it nice and full. Just like this. That's lovely. What do you think, Nibbles? Well, Nibbles thinks it looks a bit messy, but you can't be in the garden without getting messy, can you? So there we go. We've got lots of nice soil in our bowl, and I'm going to put extra at this end because that side is very important. There we go. I reckon that might be enough for now. What do you think? And now I'm going to get my plant pot and I'm going to put this down one end like that. over the top. Just like that. Yeah? That looks good, doesn't it? Now then, once you've done that, I wonder what that's going to be. Well, we'll see in a minute. So now, this special garden, which is somewhere just outside Jerusalem, in Israel, we are going to make a hill, because, as the song says, there was a green hill far away, without the city wall. So just outside the city was a green hill. We're going to make our lovely green hill at the back of our garden, like this. I love moss, it's like velvet or a cushion. There we are. And your parents will thank you if you get moss from the walls where they don't want it to be. Just like Dylan and Nathaniel and Rafferty did when they made our wilderness at Pancake Day. So there you go. Now we've got a green hill. There we go. So you've got your garden with your green hill. What else do we need in a garden? Well, I think we might need a little path. What do you reckon? Have a little path leading up to this big hole. I wonder what that hole's going to be. What do you think? Lovely path. Little stones for people to walk on. Wonder who walked in that garden. Maybe Jesus walked there, and his friends, and Mary. There we go. That's lovely, isn't it? So we've got a garden with a path, and a hill, and a big, big hole. And I wonder what that hole's for. Now we could plant some flowers. Now, in our garden, we haven't got any proper flowers like flowers you would buy in a shop, but what we have got is some weeds. But you know what? I think weeds are just as special as flowers because they are created by God and they are full of life and they all have their part to play in our nature, don't they? And these flowers, I think these flowers are extra special because do you know what these are called? Little blue flowers. I think these blue flowers are called forget-me-not. And that seemed a good name for flowers to use in an Easter garden because I think that's what Jesus says to us. Forget me not. Don't forget me. Because I love you. And I did something very, very, very special for you, which we'll talk about in a minute. There we go. What do you think, these dandelions? Do you think they can manage? There we go. Oh, and these ones, I don't know what these are, but they look a bit like forget-me-nots too, don't they? Should we stick these at the back? What do you reckon? Is it looking a bit more like a garden? Yeah, I reckon it is. And I reckon we could put a nice stone here and another stone here and another stone here. And then, well, we need some really special things, don't we, to go on it. Do you remember what happened on Easter Day, on Good Friday, 2 days before Easter Day? Well, people were very unhappy with Jesus. And lots of people said he was the king and he'd come to lead them and be their leader in a good life, a new sort of a king. But you know, the people in charge in Jerusalem, they did not like that, and they were a bit frightened that Jesus would cause trouble and stop people doing what they said. So they decided that they would kill Jesus. And you probably know how they did that. Let me just find... Oh, excuse me a minute while I just find my very important things that I made earlier. Back in a minute. Well, Mr. Tiger's sitting on the cross. Here we are. Hello. Now then, here we go. We've got number 1 and number 2, and then we've got a number 3 cross as well. So you can go and find some little twigs in your garden. I cut the dead bits off my old geranium, and you can tie them together to make a cross just like this. When Jesus was nailed to the cross, it was really terrible. And there were 2 other people on crosses next to him that had done really wrong things. But Jesus hadn't done anything wrong. They just nailed him to the cross because they didn't want him around anymore. It was very, 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 very sad indeed. So here we are, at the top of this hill. I'm going to put our cross. One for Jesus, and one for each of the prisoners, whoops-a-daisy, that were alongside him. There we go, just like that. So on that Good Friday, Jesus hung on the cross and he died. And the whole world was very, very sad. And then his friends, they took him down and they put his body in a tomb. And they wrapped it carefully in some cloths. And they put him there to be safe. Where's my stone? And they put a very, very big stone in front of the tomb, just like that. So that nobody could get in and take the body, and nobody could move him. And they left him buried there, and they were very sad. I'm going to read you a story in a minute, but I wonder what happened on the 3rd day after that happened. I wonder. That's what we remember on Easter Day, isn't it? On Easter Day, happened, and we're going to find out about that when you come to our service tomorrow. And you can bake your communion cookies, which we've got a recipe for on another entry to our channel, and you can come and join in the service and find out what happened to the body that was put in the tomb. Now let me just read you a story from our Lion's Bible for Children. Look, there's the picture. In that lonely place, outside the city walls, the soldiers crucified Jesus. That means they hung him on a cross to die. Watched by the priests and the religious leaders and by the crowd which had followed the procession out of the city. The followers of Jesus watched in horror as Jesus was nailed to the cross beside 2 thieves and hauled up with ropes. They heard his cry as the cross fell into the socket, and then there was silence and the sound of the wind was rising, hurling clouds through the sky. The three crosses stood, dark silhouettes against the fading light of the sun. And the priests turned to each other and said, "If he is the Son of God, let him come down now. If he is the chosen one, the Messiah, why doesn't he prove his power?" "Yes," said one of the thieves, grimacing in his pain. "Why don't you save us too if you're the Son of God?" "Don't you fear God at all?" asked the other. "We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man has done nothing wrong. He is innocent." And then he turned his face to Jesus and whispered, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus looked into his eyes and said, "Today you will be with me in paradise." There we go. So enjoy making your garden, and we'll see you again soon, Acorns. Bye-bye from Nibbles.